we're on. That's much better for right now. I'm going to switch to something that works. We'll turn the other one off, please, and then we can just lower this. It's really hot. So welcome to the chamber event, and this is really the chamber event, but I appreciate the opportunity to provide a state of the city. I've often in my career been able to describe what is great about our community, especially during difficult times as we've seen over the years. And somehow we're going to get to the presentation. We're working on it on the back. And while we're doing that, continue eating. We're going to just allow everyone to enjoy the breakfast while we give you a state of the city. And as you will see, some of you have asked, where's the city manager? He is out sick today. And so it's one of those opportunities for the rest of staff to step in. And we're excited to be able to provide details on the state of the city. Important to me is I retired 2 years ago. Most of you know that. And it's one of those experiences in my life that I tell people that I failed in retirement. And the truth is I didn't. Because like you, there's so much that we can do to provide a level of service. And spending over 30 years of service for this community, there's at least one person in the room that understands what this coin means. And it's a coin that says 30 years. And I served our community in the police department. And as I moved into retirement, I realized what was really important for the city. And that is, there's a need for leadership. And the exciting part of this is I get to join a team with other council members here in the city who are each and every one of us committed to what is best for our community. And the desire to build a stronger working relationship as we move into 2023. Last year at the State of the City, there hadn't been one in a few years. And so you heard a lot about how we worked through a pandemic and all the unrest and all the challenges. The idea then was it was a time of renaissance. That was a bit of a theme that was shared last year during the presentation. But this year, it's really building a foundation for a vibrant tomorrow. And the reason for that is what has occurred in the last year is we completed everything that was associated with the redistricting. So we know that we have the various districts, and during the census change, there was all the work that was established to make sure that where we were moving forward aligned with the new census from 2020. Interesting in the program, it says small city. The truth is the City of Vacaville is one of about 350 cities nationwide, over 100,000 in population. So it is an interesting time to be growing, and yet we're not technically a small city, but we have a small city feel. That's the culture of what we have. And so as we understand that there is the representation with districts to make sure that we have a voice throughout the city, we are one city and we are a united council, and I appreciate that. With me today is going to be our Assistant City Manager, Georgianne Megger-Smith, and our Director of Economic Development, Don Burris. And so as we go through the program, I will assure you there'll be an opportunity at the end of this for questions and some exciting news along the way. And so everyone wants exciting news, especially from a Chamber of Commerce, right? And so as we do this, though, I just want you to consider this theme, and that is building foundations. There's a lot of things, good things that have happened in the city over the course of this last year. And so you're going to see what is in front of you, but also a discussion and a time for questions and answers. Difficult questions, I hope. I was used to some difficult questions as the Chief of Police. And so we're up for the task. But in the meantime, what I want to do is start with understanding there's always opportunities, but we're going to share also the challenges, because with challenges, we have a framework for the opportunities that we can take. And I'm really excited to be part of this morning, and also to be your mayor here in Vacaville. And so with that, I'm going to turn the podium over to Georgianne, and I'm also going to be co-presenting along the way. And so Georgianne, why don't you kick off the current challenges of the city, and challenges are always an opportunity, correct?
Sure, thank you, Mayor Carley. Thank you all for being here this morning. I know that you were all expecting the city manager, so was I, but I'm happy to be here. And since I haven't met a lot of you, I just wanted to give you a little bit of information about myself and introduce myself. I am a longtime Vacaville resident. I am an Air Force brat. My parents moved the family here in 1986, so I've been here ever since. My parents decided to retire here. I chose to raise my family here, and I've been with the city for about 16 years. So with that, we will jump in to challenges. 2022 was an exciting year, but it was not without challenges. As we were rebounding from the pandemic, the economy became uncertain. There were recession concerns, supply chain issues, and inflation affected many things, including maintenance and service costs. Filling vacant positions became harder than ever, and legislative mandates threatened to impact local control. It's important to note, though, that in the midst of all these challenges, the city's focus and vision remained clear. So looking at taxes, let's see if I get my clicker going. Looking at taxes and fees and other income, property tax has continued to climb along with housing prices. And as we see the economy slow down and housing prices started to come down as well, we also expect to see property taxes begin to level off in the coming years as they catch up to the lag. Sales tax also began to level off in 2022, coming in at $26.3 million, although we still saw a 4% increase from the prior year, which was great. Other taxes, which includes all the things you see listed on the slide, also leveled off at about $11.7 million in 2022. And interesting to note, though, the paramedic tax saw a year-over-year increase of 10%, but TOT tax did have a decrease of 16%. Department charges and fees remain strong at $6.1 million, and this 8.6% increase over the prior year really is due in large part to the rebound of our Parks and Recreation Department and their awesome programs and facility rentals. As we know, the housing market has changed. Home prices increased quickly between June 2020 and 2022, and then began to see a slight downtick. And the average days on the market also increased with rising interest rates and the general economic uncertainty. We saw non-residential building permit applications come down in terms of numbers, but the valuation has dramatically increased. By the same token, residential building permits are up, but their valuation is down. Both Vacaville and Solano County have continued to recover lost jobs from the pandemic, but the level of the labor force is still down and low and a little concerning, especially for smaller businesses in Vacaville that now face rising wages due to the lack of available workers that we're all dealing with. A key challenge for the city has been a continued increase in retirements and vacancies. You can see the turnover rate rose to a record high last year. Recruitment and retention also continues to be challenges as the post-pandemic workforce has changed and they're looking for different things. In response, we've increased compensation to be competitive in high-demand markets since we're a people-driven organization. New federal and state mandates and regulatory requirements are also challenging and at times are trying to limit and restrict local control. And so now I will pass it back to Mayor Carley to talk about the strategic plan.
Sure, thank you. As a former staff member of the city, I recognize the value of planning and having a strategic plan. It really guides a council when council is trying to enact a vision for the community so that staff knows how to apply this. And so the strategic plan is made up of 5 goals and their strategies, and everything in it now, even when an item comes to council, the objective is to align it to whatever the goals are. It truly is how you create a roadmap. And I appreciate the fact that staff does that and does it very well. The value of this also for a council is to make sure that as these sometimes have to be adapted and changed, and they have been over the last few years, one of the importance is to make sure that that roadmap is always current and it's focused on all the work that that we have staff doing each and every day. There's so many departments within the city trying to enact the business of government, but it's really the direction and support and the vision of council at the behest of our community. And so with that, we have to understand, and I don't have the remote here, the importance of this, though, is getting to this. This is really the hub and spoke of what that gets us. These are our goals. They're simplified, but the reality is we're looking for a vibrant city, a prosperous city, and how do we accomplish that? And we do it through all of these. And while the goals sometimes are listed 1 through 5, they're always working in parallel with each other, because at 2 a.m. and there's a critical incident, maybe it's public safety. But the reality is when you're discussing something that may be business related, it could be economic development. And so staff interweaves all of these simultaneously at the same time. And that needs to be understood as a community, as staff, and even as a council. And so with that, though, we're going to kick this off, and it will go around in order, but we're going to start off with the local economy. And I'm going to turn it over to Don Burris. Don, you have the floor. Energy.
Thank you, Mayor Carley. Good morning, everyone. My name is Don Burris. I'm the Director of Economic Development Services for the City of Vacaville, and very honored to be here this morning to fill in for our city manager. As I present the next series of slides, I hope to provide you all with a snapshot of the city's commitment and efforts to strengthen the local economy.
It's a stark difference here in Vacaville versus other cities around the Bay Area, and that's one of the reasons why you'll see a lot of anticipated development in the Bay Area, especially regarding life sciences, but you're actually seeing shovels in the ground and progress happening here in Vacaville. The city itself has done a tremendous amount of proactive work in terms of establishing the business park first and foremost, but also making all the permitting processes, the approvals so much easier to come by. So walking kind of hand in hand with us as a developer through all the touch points and the hurdles that we'd have to get over in order to make something work, and do so in a quick time frame, rather than throwing up roadblocks and assuming at some point we'll get through them.
Consistently, the City of Vacaville has been kind, professional, responsive. So we're excited to be able to offer a facility in a jurisdiction that just wants to welcome businesses. It has a great quality of life, and we believe it's a home run.
Here at Solano Community College, we also have an automation technology program, which students can get a certificate or they can get an Associate's of Science degree. They take a variety of classes that involve PLC programming, electronics, electrical wiring, machinery, robotics, advanced robotics. They get into camera systems. All of this is a great way to get into the higher level jobs in which controls and the integration of computers and technology play in our industry around us.
Here in Vacaville, we built a state-of-the-art manufacturing training facility for training the talent of the future. Here we teach students the skills and knowledge required to go into the biomanufacturing field. We have the full array of a talent pipeline from high school to certificate, to associates, to a bachelor's degree, and we've articulated with several graduate schools around the country.
What that video highlights is the level of partnerships workforce development efforts, and public-private investment that's needed to grow and strengthen our local economy and to create a vibrant city. As I continue with the presentation, you will notice a theme, and that is investment. To have a healthy, strong economy, public and private investments into our small businesses and our community organizations must be made, and the City of Vacaville has done just that. With the support of the mayor and the city council, all $12.6 million of ARPA funding was allocated to the many needs and interest in the community, and these funds are being distributed directly into the community. Of the $12.6 million, a little over $1 million was allocated for a small business grant program. 47 businesses were selected, and they'll be using the funds for various general business operations support. And I'm happy to share with you all this morning that the city will be cutting checks tomorrow for our small business grant recipients. So if any of you guys out there are the small business owners, the check is in the mail. In addition to the 47 small businesses that are receiving funds, over $1.2 million of the funds have been awarded to 10 nonprofit community organizations. So Vacaville's participation in the bioeconomy has a long history. In 2020, the city launched our biotechnology and advanced manufacturing strategy, and that initiative was created for the city to be able to capitalize on the existing cluster of biomanufacturing companies. The initiative has proven to be successful, and we are adding to that rich history. To date, the city has been able to attract investments from 4 biotechnology companies. What does that mean, investment? What does that investment look like for us? So just a quick snapshot. At build-out, we're looking at 1,900 new biotechnology jobs, 3,000 construction jobs, $500 million in construction spending, $30 million in local taxes, and much, much more. The total economic impact to be realized by the City of Vacaville is estimated to be $2.5 billion. Yes, $2.5 billion. And we're just getting started. You'll notice on the, thank you. You'll notice on the slide there's a section that it says coming soon. So stand by, as Mayor Carley will probably have another announcement for you all in the next coming month. To continue to strengthen our local economy and attract good paying jobs and creating wealth in the community, the council authorized staff to prepare an action plan for developing a specific plan for the 1,400 acres we refer to as the Northeast Growth Area. Planning the Northeast Growth Area as a cutting-edge technology park and job center is especially important because Vacaville current industrial parks are largely built out with very little developable land left. As I mentioned at the beginning of this presentation, that investment would be needed to strengthen the local economy. The I-5 Vaca Valley Overcrossing project has local, regional, and federal investments. These investments are anticipated to to activate over 300 acres of developable land, stimulate over 6 million square feet of new business development, pave the way for over 1,200 new homes in the area, and has the potential to create thousands of new jobs that will generate over $3 million in annual tax revenue over the next 20 years. Staff is currently working on the right-of-way and environmental design phase with the project, which will extend through 2023. More public investment, the Jepson Parkway project. This concept plan was adopted in 2000 by the Solano Transportation Authority, provides a comprehensive and coordinated strategy to upgrade a 12-mile corridor of narrow local roads between Suisun City, through Fairfield, the county, and Vacaville, ending at I-80 and Leisurestown Road. This project responds to a series of critical transportation needs and relieves existing and future traffic congestion problems in central Solano County. In keeping with our investment theme, this project is a regional transportation plan priority project identified by the Solano Transportation Authority and listed in the Federal Transportation Improvement Program by the Metropolitan Transportation Commission, again, with local, regional, and federal investments. Continuing with the city's efforts to strengthen the local economy, the city was awarded grant funds from the U.S. Department of Commerce Economic Development Administration to the tune of $186,000 to develop a broadband master plan. The goal is to eliminate the digital divide for residents and businesses alike. The plan has been completed, and the city was fortunate to receive a California Public Utilities Commission local agency technical assistant grant in the amount of $493,000. These funds will be used to develop phase 2 of the citywide broadband master plan, to develop the digital infrastructure design, engineering, and implementation plan associated with the broadband master plan. Feeding the local economy is a combination of both public investment at the local, regional, and federal level, plus private investment. Collectively, these pieces contribute to the foundational build out of a vibrant downtown. Since February of 2022, the city has invested approximately $6.9 million in downtown Vacaville in areas such as supporting the downtown Vacaville Business Improvement District, street lighting, tree lighting, infrastructure improvements, wayfinding signs, and much more. Also, with more investment to come, as we are now prepared to implement the action items identified in the downtown specific plan. To add to our public investment, we have a significant private investment from the Lewis companies who are investing over $14.7 million in the 700 Park on Main mixed-use development. Construction is scheduled to begin later this summer. This project is seriously a catalyst project that plays a significant role in the downtown Vacaville's renaissance. Again, my name is Don Burris, and it's been my pleasure to share this information with you this morning. I will now turn the presentation back over to our Assistant City Manager, Georgianne Mager-Smith. Thank you.
Go ahead. This is definitely an exciting time for all of the city, but also so much of us enjoy and love our downtown. And when we think of how our development is going to continue to the east, there really is an investment in our whole city, but downtown is especially a gem of our community, which makes the community that we love so dearly activated. And so we're going to continue to commit to that as a city, but it takes a partnership with our community as well. So take it over. I'll start with just ensuring public safety is clearly one of our goals as a city. I focused on that for the better part of 3 decades here in the city, and also as the chief. And I appreciate seeing our chief of police, Ian Smutsler. So good to see you this morning. The one piece of this I want you to understand is what creates public safety is a buy-in to community safety, which is everyone's role. And in doing so, it's the question of to have a safe community means that you're going to have a vibrant community. And so it is a bedrock cornerstone. If you have a safe community, you don't see it, you feel it. And so with that, I want to turn it back over to you. And we'll go from here, moving forward, and hitting all of the other goals throughout what we have as the city. And we're going to do this in record time because we want to get to questions. But I assure you, you're going to really enjoy some of the announcements we have.
Thank you, Mayor. know that Vacaville has a great police department, and we wanted to find out how we could make it even better. So a comprehensive audit of the police department was completed and presented to council in November 2022. And the goal was really to gain an understanding of operations, policies, procedures, and culture in order to identify and reinforce the positive, as well as identify areas of improvement. The audit commended and reinforced the effective work already being done by the police department to keep the community safe, and also included 40 recommendations on topics like enhancing review practices, increasing transparency, and continuing efforts to expand community engagement. The police department's district commander program is in its 3rd year and remains a very successful and well-received program. An unprecedented number of promotions and moves within the department have led to some consistent change there, but we continue to have 1 sergeant and 1 lieutenant assigned to each council district. The investment in this important program has led to many positive relationships with the business community, council members, residents, district commanders for each of the districts. The citywide camera program is yet another way the city is investing in community safety. The city now has 135 license plate readers that assisted in 112 cases during the last year. We have another 215 cameras throughout the city, helping the police department ensure the safety of Vacaville.
Cameras that are for the trip signals. It really is public safety, and it started several years ago, and I appreciate the extension of that. This is about how you create public safety in a smarter way, to be able to solve cases simply because we have the cameras and use them responsibly. And any technology that is used also now has to come back to the council to ensure that any use of the technology in a way is not infringing on people's rights. And that report comes back to the council annually. So I appreciate that we do have these technologies, but it's also being used responsibly.
The city's code enforcement teams take a proactive approach when it comes to ensuring public safety and focuses on fire protection through weed abatement, along with other types of high priority issues such as property maintenance, graffiti, and obstructions. We were excited to start a fire apprentice program in 2022 with the goal of increasing the number of qualified firefighter candidates and more accurately reflecting the community. The fire department received 338 applications and 12 conditional offers were given out, and those folks are in the background process right now, so we're pretty excited. It's anticipated that they'll start their apprenticeships mid-April. As the Lagoon Valley development is well underway, one of the first steps is to add a new fire station. This station will not only serve Lagoon Valley, but will also serve to expand services throughout the city. Solano County recently launched Zone Haven, a collaborative effort between the county and all 7 cities, which aims to better prepare residents and businesses for emergencies and evacuations. In the event of emergency situations, city departments work together to issue safety warnings and orders for impacted areas. Those notices are issued for a specific zone or zone, so it's critical that you know your zone. So on each of your tables, there is a little magnet about Zone Haven, and you can refer to that later to figure out what zone you're in, and then you can write it on the magnet and stick it on your fridge. So moving on to protect Vacaville's quality of life, Strategic Plan Goal 3. To achieve housing for all, one of the city's strategic initiatives, it's important that we have a wide variety of housing types available to serve and support our economic vision. The housing strategy addresses housing gaps in types, such as the missing middle and mid-rise, and also the anticipated increase in housing needs for different income earning levels. The housing element is an 8-year plan that establishes the vision for Vacaville and demonstrates how the city will plan housing in accordance with the regional housing needs allocation. The final 2023 to 2031 housing element is anticipated to be presented to council for adoption in June. So talk a little bit about some of the housing projects happening in Vacaville right now. And we have the Peabody apartment complex. It's 120 market rate apartments, and it was approved in April 2021. The Pony Express senior apartments include 61 bedroom units located on Aegean Way. These units are age restricted to 62 and over and are also income restricted to serve some of our most vulnerable population. 15 of the units have been dedicated to seniors experiencing homelessness, and the application period closed on December 31st with 98 applications, but we're planning to reopen it again mid-April. The Green Tree development was approved in 2022 after more than 5 years of collaborating with nearby residents. The development includes market rate, age-restricted single-family units along with higher density housing and apartments. It also includes a commercial space, senior-oriented park, a neighborhood park, a trail network, and detention basins. The Lagoon Valley development, in addition to providing a wide range of housing types from affordable to age-restricted to executive housing, this development is also a conservation community. Approximately 85% of all land within the lower Lagoon Valley specific plan will be permanently protected for public open space, parks, and recreational land. Another part of the project, they will also plant over 4,000 trees between the golf course, common areas, home sites, and conservation easements. Vacaville parks are well used and much loved in Vacaville, and in 2021, the city committed to invest over $10 million of Measure M funding to improve a park in each district. Those projects are still underway, with additional ball field lighting and improvements to the Lagoon Valley Archery Range expected to be completed this year. In 2021, the city invested $350,000 of Measure M funds in Play for All Park. This inclusive, all-accessible park officially opened on February 8th, and it's already a huge hit with the community. Maintain effective and efficient services is strategic plan goal 4.
What other way to be better at everything the fire service has to offer?
We'll train you up, we'll support you. There's a ton of room for growth.
If you're a new medic and you're looking for a place to work, Vacaville is truly a place you want to be for the rest of your life.
Yeah, clean up litter, and we'll take out weeds, we'll trim the bushes, and take out any dead flowers or anything like that, and basically some general cleanup of the parks and other public works facilities.
The city serves the community through services, whether that's public safety, public works, planning, or utilities. And in order to do that, we need knowledgeable and dedicated staff. Our human resources department has been very busy filling all the vacancies we mentioned earlier. And as you can see, they hired 82 employees during 2022 and 30 so far already this year. City Coach Direct began during COVID as a means of providing added transportation options for riders. As part of the response to COVID, fares were suspended by most transit agencies and services were subsidized by CARES Act funding. Last month, the city resumed collection of fares, but $3 for a door-to-door trip sounds like still a pretty good deal. COV Life is an employee-led engagement program aimed at bringing together staff from across the city to create a sense of belonging. They held 16 events last year, including Topgolf, rafting down the American River, soup and chili cook-off, Dine on Us vouchers for local restaurants, and an ALS bake sale. Promoting community engagement, increased equity, and inclusion is goal 5 of the strategic plan.
Ho, ho. Merry Christmas, Vacaville. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. Ho, ho, ho. Merry Christmas. 3,
Working to help create the vibrant city that we are, COV Connect is a relatively new outreach program created to help provide a service-based approach to connect the city with local communities. We held 2 cleanup days in 2022 where staff and volunteers assisted residents with cleaning up their yards, adding bark and plants, replacing trees, and removing waste in vehicles. It's been a great way to engage with members of the community we might not otherwise get to meet, and we want all of Vacaville to be vibrant. Take note, we do have our next cleanup event on April 15th, and that's taking place in District 6. In 2022, and always, we have a strong focus on not only engaging with the community, but also in listening to the community. And in 2022, we held 2 community forums on the topic of community policing. We had over 120 attendees who appreciated the opportunity to engage with a variety of police department staff and appreciated being heard. And I think staff might have appreciated the opportunity just as much. If you didn't know, we have a program called District Dollars, or otherwise known as the Council District Benefit Program. And this is a way that City Council can invest in the community through putting funds right back into their districts or the city for projects or programs that benefit the community. And they're whizzing by, but let's go back and talk about just a couple. Some of those funds went to create a free Beat the Heat Day during the summer when the temperatures were very high. Those funds have been used to sponsor the Hometown Hero program, a new tree bait program. In case you want to plant a tree, you can get a reimbursement for that. We've had movie nights and some listening sessions in a variety of different districts. And with that, I'm going to transition it back to Mayor Carly to wrap us up.
Well, I know this is like a 30,000-foot flyover in 30 minutes. The work of local government to operate like a business, having been on the inside for so many years, I look to the tables to my right, your left for some of you, and we all worked together for so many years. And so one of the reasons why I wanted to join the city leadership, not just as staff, but as an elected official, is truly understanding what the needs are of the actual community, but also how it is accomplished through staff. And I really appreciate the hard work that staff is doing. And I hear so many compliments out in the community for all of you. So let's give them a round of a hand. So some of what you saw was building foundations that lead us to a vibrant tomorrow. Before I show you one item that's new for the city, I want to just highlight a couple things that we saw that it's really hard when you're seeing a video or you're seeing a slide and you're trying to just hear what is being presented. I had the opportunity, and Mike Silver, where are you at, Mike? I'm really proud of what Mike is doing at the college. I got to see some of it yesterday, and I'm still waiting for that tour. But when we talk about what's coming to Vacaville, we need a workforce, right? We know we need housing. So there's all these things that city staff, through your government, are trying to accomplish and do it efficiently and effectively, which was one of the reasons why I ran for mayor. But we really are on the cusp of a workforce educational pipeline and an excitement. Some of the challenges are you're not even having enough students in the classes, and so sometimes those classes are going unused and canceled. But is there an announcement to make? There is. Would you like to come up here real quick? I'm going to put you on the spot because this is one of the most exciting things. And Mike, you want to come up here? This is more exciting to me because we talk about education and how we create a pipeline for our kids. We talk about wanting our kids to grow up and stay here. That's a housing issue, but it's an education and an employment issue.
Thank you. I'm Ed Santa Padre with the Vacaville School District. I didn't know I'd be doing this, but we are super excited. We have been working with Solano College to produce more students involved in biotech. With all of the things coming here, excuse me, in 2 weeks, we'll be bringing to our board, and Solano College will be bringing to their board, an agreement where they will be providing 2 biotech classes on each of our high school campuses starting next school year. So that'll be a total of 5 biotech campuses, classes across the campuses. If our students take those classes and then go on to some summer work at Solano College, they will be prepared to enter the workforce or to continue on and get their bachelor's degrees. It is just a partnership we've been wanting and the city staff have been nudging us on, and we're really excited to announce that we're bringing those for final approvals now.
And it's really nice to see the excitement because I've watched Mike present and speak on the issue, and you know when somebody loves something, they speak passionately. And when I look at the council that I've joined, myself and Sarah Chapman, we're new to the council, and really appreciating the opportunities that we're bringing to each other and all the work that's done through Solano Community College. These are perfect efforts to create the workforce of tomorrow. And so what I want to do also is we're always looking for creative ways to help our community. And I've heard for years we have a parking problem downtown, right? And we know that we do at times, but sometimes it's really about, how do we help educate someone who's trying to come downtown using the technologies that are out there, right? We all know how to put in a wayfinder and the map gets us there that drives straight to it. But how cool would it be if, and we're going to see how this works, and this is this phone right here. And so what we're going to try and do is show you a new and exciting tool. I just have to find it here. Just give me a second. It's this icon right here. It's Joppa. You will be able to download it here moving forward. But if I click on this, look what I see. I see a map of Vacaville, and all of those icons are the lots that are downtown. And if I wanted to click on one, because I'm thinking I need to go over here to this business, I could click on it, and I can see right there if there's parking available. From there, I can actually link this directly into my map and drive here. So imagine having technology that's integrated with all of your phones so that you will actually know where to park downtown. Is this helpful, Louis? These are just some of the neat items that are coming our way. We're always wanting more parking. We're always wanting more businesses downtown. We're working on that. But anytime that we can have technologies or information at our fingertips intuitively, this is helpful. And this is creative coming from our staff. And so with that, I'm going to go into the next slide. We're going to go to some questions. I see that we're slightly behind, but we're not that far behind for questions. And first and foremost, really thank you to all the sponsors here. I know they were introduced at the front end, but let's just give them another hand. The other thing I want you to know, it's in your program, and this QR code, everything that's being put together, you can be able to digest this more intuitively on a computer screen or any way you would look at the information that's presented. The presentation today, along with the editing of this discussion, will be available next week. No promises when next week. We're hoping for Monday. And also, as we go into a time of Q&A, not all of you are going to want to raise your hand, and we don't have time for that. We're going to take a few questions. However, your ability to provide a survey to us, both in what it is that you would like to see in a presentation in a program in the future, but also an opportunity to add questions, and so that we can intuitively listen to you. This becomes a listening session. You are leaders in the community in your own right. You're business owners, you're elected officials, you're thought leaders. And so it's an opportunity for us to be able to also get input from you and then apply that in a way that we can share it depending upon the questions as we move forward, so that we're listening to a community that we're serving. And that is the other area that I know that was important to me as I stepped in as mayor, is to help create an efficient and effective government. And we do that through collaboration. And so with that, I know that there's going to be some other opportunities before we close, but do we have time for some questions? We do. And we have a hand up here, and there is a microphone so that we can get this on record.
Good morning. Good morning. My name is Elsa Flores. I'm with Kaiser Permanente here in Vacaville. In regards to the development that you're going to be doing with the housing, which we're really excited about, do you have a higher local initiative in that particular area or just in general? And if you do have one, what is it? And if you don't, are you planning on having one?
It was hard for me to understand that question, but a higher local initiative? Oh.
Initiative, particularly in the development.
You can speak to that.
So to answer your question, hi, good to see you again. So we have talked about a higher local program. In my previous jurisdictions, we've done that before. They're relatively successful, so I'm not going to tell you that they don't work, but it's very difficult sometimes for the companies to actually find the talent they need locally. So oftentimes they will come from communities outside of our own community. However, with the work that we're doing in partnership with both of our school district and with the community college, we're hoping to keep creating the talent that is needed in our community so those jobs stay within our community. So very happy to continue the conversation to create that. They're usually called Hire First programs, and we're happy to have that conversation.
Yeah, thank you. Next question. Any questions? Yes, in the back. Louis.
But as far as parking goes, we're always going to agree to disagree on that. But hopefully, East May gets developed. I think it's going to be a couple of years.
We got facts, not feelings.
And we're moving in a positive direction. We just want the city to understand how important it is to hold your word in us. It's very important that along with positive and negative. So let's get it done, folks. The cities are defined by the downtown. And it's time to end us going to other cities to enjoy downtown and eat and so forth. Let's make ours very special.
Yeah, thank you. And that is the goal. The work is being prepped for the East Main. Imagine that vibrant downtown where people can live. So you have the mixed use in the condo-like living above and the stores below to really activate downtown. It is a gem, and you're absolutely right. Any of us who want to come downtown is just to have that vibrancy here locally. So thank you. Any other questions? In the back.
I love the term vibrant city. I usually don't need this one. Usually I think it's too annoying, all right? As members that are pretty active in the community, I saw some events that I knew of and some events I didn't know of. How are you reaching out to the community that maybe not as active, let them know of the activities going on, cities doing it, to make it a more vibrant city? Is it a Facebook thing? Is it a website thing? What are we doing to reach out to the everyday citizens who may not be active in the community?
Yeah, it's a great question. It's always an issue of communication. And this is something that even as a council, we're always concerned about making sure, how do we get the word out? So much is using technology. We know the social media platforms. We know the Nextdoor platforms, our City of Vacaville platforms. And you know, Joanna Leal is, you know, from a public, she's over here. And this is one of her roles in the city is how to get the message out. And I know that there's going to be some updates. And I'm not sure if you had anything else you wanted to share. Put you on the spot.
I was happy standing in the corner. Hello, I'm Joanna Leal. I'm the city's public relations manager. There's so much, and with the direction of the city council, we're looking at kind of every possible outlet. And I thank you for saying that because there are so many people that are not on social media, that are not getting those updates. So we're trying to think of different innovative ways to really connect with those communities. Even going old school, putting stuffers in water bills and trying to connect with community that way. Working with our departments, going to events, really getting where community is, right? I don't expect you to come to us. We need to get to where you are. And I think that's really the message that we're really trying to get post-COVID. You know, we want to be connected. We want to be with you. And so just trying to figure out all the different avenues that are out there that are available. And then also recognizing that it's okay that not everyone wants to connect with their community, but the people that do want to connect, having those really important dialogues and conversations.
Thank you. It's always a great question. And so much of what I've seen over the last 6 months is many people relocating to Vacaville and calling Vacaville home, and exciting to actually see them want to connect and see them at different functions and events. And so sometimes that intentionality is how do we engage a community and create that intentionality? So thanks for the question. Yes.
Good morning, everyone. Thank you so much, Major Carly and community. My name is Rosa Gracida, and I work for Pacifica Senior Living in Vacaville, serving the seniors for the last 25 years. I am excited to see that Vacaville is already a great place to live, and the private message and desire that we have is even more excited. My question is, how are we planning to include our seniors also in that developments and progress and future plans. Because we don't only have to think about the youth today, but the seniors and the elderly we have a lot to learn from them. And I asking you directly, how are we going to involve them and take care of them and give them a voice to be part of our community? Thank you.
Thank you. I will tell you that I've already begun to have meetings with members in the community that want to advocate for those of us who I now join, right? So I was one of those when they said the tsunami, the silver tsunami. I wasn't always silver hair. I mean, I started here when I was a young kid. And so it's just as important to me as well. And I have family that live in Leisure Town with my in-laws. And it becomes important to me, the facilities such as yours and that you work for, to be able to care for those who are, our generation is aging and we have the youth coming in, and so it becomes a cyclical problem. One of the things that our council will be discussing is our roundtables. And one of the roundtables was the senior roundtable, and it has not been effectively used in over a decade. And so part of that goal will be a discussion that our council will be having shortly, because we're going to be meeting this next Friday to do, it's not so much a goal setting, but a priority setting to look at what we're doing as a community. And I'm not alone in asking us to revisit and review our roundtables, and that's one of them. Because we do need to activate those who have led the way, who have a lot more knowledge. In our culture, what we really need to do is focus on that. And so I am pressing in on that, and I've already started some conversations and more to come. So thank you. 2 more questions. You've had your hand up for a while up here, so you get 1 question.
See if this works. Hello?
Yes.
Hi, I'm Jana Money with McGuire Real Estate. And I'm also a mother of 4 children here in town. So I have a 2-part question. With my real estate hat, I'm very excited to see all the biotech coming to town. Thank you, Dawn, and many others. So that's gonna be more houses for me to sell. But with my mom hat on, I'm wondering more about the infrastructure of parks, fire stations, in particular schools. That's probably an ed question. If that's being thought about and planned as well.
Well, thank you. They overlap, and you're not alone to be able to say, we need to look at housing at the same time we need to look at education and schools and parks. And that's why it's important for us to not lose sight one over the other in priority. They're all a priority. The focus on, when we look at schools, cities don't build schools, and this is an age-old problem. You could probably talk for the next hour on what we need and what we don't need. The reality is there is the master planning going on for our parks and recreation. And I'm proud that the work that our staff has been doing on that. And even council is weighing in on saying what we want is certain amenities and how do we prioritize that. And so even recently, the discussion came up even at the last council about prioritizing a facility, at the same time looking at current parks and seeing how can we invest in those as well. And so that's being worked on by staff at the direction of council, and I can assure you it's a priority here. Because that's where people live. You want to be able to, on the weekends, you want to take your kids and go play somewhere. And everyone's activity is slightly different, but our parks are so important. And I really want to also thank our staff for how they maintain and upkeep the parks, because it is a wonderful place to not only enjoy from a personal perspective, but also just the recreational side. There's so much that we have here locally. But I do appreciate that, and we will be developing even more of a master plan when it comes to that as we look at Centennial Park. And I assure you there's members of the Parks and Rec Commission in the room, and they're very much engaged at the direction of the council, because that's a priority for us here in Vacaville. So thank you. 1 more question. And remember, more questions can be online through the QR code, but we have time for 1 more question just to honor your time. I have one in the back.
Can you share with us maybe some recent interaction and positive conversation between what's happening now with Travis Air Force Base and the conduit of communication and the economic impact that they're having here, and how that positively affects on or reflects on us as well? I know I saw you at the staff meeting, and maybe you can share a little bit with our community about why that's important to our city growth and development as well.
Thank you for the question. The Travis Air Force Base, just like you heard earlier when you start looking at the economic impact of a community, well, Travis Air Force Base has roughly $2.6 billion impact to our local economy. And Vacaville is a strategic location and partner with Travis. And when I think of the work that's already begun in some of our conversations, we have already had meetings out on base. Some of us, myself included, have been briefed by Colonel Salmi, who will be the general this fall. I mean, when we look at the importance of what it means to our community, our families, so many of their families, the service airmen that are from the base, they live here. They need education here. And so these conversations to the components of what makes a vibrant community, our meetings with them are allowing us to understand what it is their goals are so that we can provide them as a strategic partner. Additionally to that, the Travis Community Consortium, we're now on the executive board level so that we can have a greater voice to the impacts that the base has, and even being able to deal with that from a political position so that the future viability of a major strategic partnership will remain strong in the future. And I appreciate Lynn Augustine, Lynn is here in the room, right here, for being part of that and being an advocate for not only the City of Vacaville, but also for Travis, so thank you. As we conclude, I just want to say thank you. For me, it's a wonderful opportunity to step in as your mayor, a part of this whole community. The council is in a position to work together and very collaboratively. The health of the community is strong. We are post-pandemic. We are setting the course for what the future is in Vacaville, and I couldn't be prouder of the community, but also of our staff, and also the staff that put all this together. Can we give, I mean, they've done a wonderful work, so. It's like studying and cramming for an exam, and I can assure you, going on what goes on behind the scenes, I couldn't thank you all enough. So with that, I want to say thank you for the opportunity to speak to you this morning and answer some of your questions. And together, we will continue to lead Vacaville in a vibrant future. So thank you very much, Debbie.